I'll always watch your back. So let's just stand together. I'll hold you in my arms, and suddenly the light will come and heal the heart. We are the part of the one-man army. We are the soldiers of the light. We're gonna break these walls around us and let the hope fulfill our lives. We are the part of the one-man army. We use the guns, we hold the tears. We're gonna break these shells around us and let the light come out. We're here. We're gonna burn like fire, fire in the one desire. Love is stronger than the dark side of life. Higher, higher with the one desire. 'Cause in the end there's nothing else. We're gonna burn like fire, fire in the one desire. Love is stronger than the dark side of life. Higher, higher with the one desire. 'Cause in the end there's nothing else besides light. I don't believe in myself, but I believe in love, love and light, light. In the end there's nothing else besides light. I don't believe in myself, but I believe in love, love and light, light. In the end there's nothing else besides light. I don't believe in myself, but I believe in you. I don't believe in myself, but I believe in you. I'm falling into myself, but I wanna draw to you. 'Cause when we can stand together above our frozen hearts, I believe the light will come and we won't stay apart. Seems like I lost my wings, but you made me fly. And if I stop breathing, with you I'll stay alive. When we can stand together above our frozen hearts, I'm sure the light will come and make things right. We are the parts of the one-man body. We are the soldiers of the light. We're gonna break these walls together and let the love free our minds. We're gonna burn like fire, fire in the one desire. Love is stronger than the dark side of life. Higher, higher with the one desire. 'Cause in the end there's nothing else besides light, light and love, love and light, light. In the end there's nothing else besides light, light and love, love and light, light. In the end there's nothing else besides light. No matter what will come in our winding path, you are not alone, I'll always watch your back. So let's just stand together. I'll hold you in my arms, and suddenly the light will come and heal the heart. We are the part of the one-man army. We are the soldiers of the light. We're gonna break these walls around us and let the hope fulfill our lives. We are the part of the one-man army. We use the guns, we hold the tears. We're gonna break these shells around us and let the light come out. We're here. We're gonna burn like fire, fire in the one desire. Love is stronger than the dark side of life. Higher, higher with the one desire. 'Cause in the end there's nothing else. We're gonna burn like fire, fire in the one desire. Love is stronger than the dark side of life. Higher, higher with the one desire. 'Cause in the end I don't believe in myself, but I believe in you. I'm falling into myself, but I wanna draw to you. 'Cause when we can stay together above our frozen hearts, I believe the light will come and we won't stay apart. Seems like I lost my wings, but you made me fly. And if I stop breathing, with you I'll stay alive. 'Cause when we can stand together above our frozen hearts, I'm sure the light will come and make things right. We are the parts of the one-man body. We are the soldiers of the light. We're gonna break these walls together and let the love free our minds. We're gonna burn like fire, fire in the one desire. Love is stronger than the dark side of life. Higher, higher with the one desire. 'Cause in the end there's nothing else besides light, light.
טוב, מוכנים? בוא. Hello!
All right.
Hey.
Ah, look at that.
Man, this set looks beautiful.
Yeah, not bad, huh?
How's it going, everyone?
Hello, beautiful people.
So, we're here now, and you're watching us either on the retreat page or on YouTube or Facebook, where we're broadcasting everywhere right now. And this is a festive Q&A event that you've tuned into in anticipation toward the upcoming 2019 KabU Retreat. My name is Marcos, here together with me is Asaf and Ruth.
Hey, everyone.
Hey, guys.
You guys excited?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Look, that's
So excited
things
that
are
the
falling.
plants are just like jumping all over the place.
Things are falling down. Now, how can you not be excited in such a place? Look at what they've done to the place. This is amazing. You had a hand in that, right?
Well, yeah, but we also want to give thanks to Rachel Pension. She's behind the scenes, actually. She's like the genius behind all this like setup. And Marcos brought the branches in his car, and I cut them in the garden in the middle of the night, you know, so they'd be fresh and not wilted. So, you know, we brought the Poconos here.
Yeah.
You did that? Wow.
Yeah.
So what is this event? Why we got all these things around? So this event, basically what you can do is you can ask us questions and we'll answer them. Anything that you want Kabbalah's answer to, we'll answer it for you. And anything that you have to ask about the upcoming retreat too, you can ask that, since we are here in a preparation mode toward the upcoming retreat. Together with that, we're going to be drawing prizes during the event. Anyone who asks questions, you're going to go into the...
Yes.
Yeah. Anyone who asks questions, you're going to go into the draw to win prizes, courtesy of Lateman Kabbalah Publishers at KabbalahBooks.info, books that you'll be able to get. And the major prize will be a $150 cashback on the retreat ticket, not just for asking a question, but if you actually register to the retreat, if you get your tickets during this event right now, if you go in and get your tickets to the retreat, you go into the draw to win $150 cash back at the retreat.
Say that again?
Yeah.
$150 cash back at the retreat.
What do I have to do?
And you just have to go to retreat.kabbalah.info. That's the website of the retreat. If you can show the slide there as well.
We have a slide.
We have a slide.
Happen. There we
You
go.
see there. So there you go. This is the details of the retreat. You sign up at retreat.kabbalah.info. It's the Make It Real KabU Retreat 2019. It's going to be in Pocono Springs Camp in Pennsylvania.
Which is a beautiful place.
Yeah. This is the whole reason for all this greenery around here.
Yeah.
On September 20 to 22. So that's it. We'll get into it already, yeah?
All right.
I'm just going to kick it off already with a question about the retreat. So we've actually had a couple of questions about this. I'm just going to summarize it like this. So in the advertisement for the retreat, it says that there's no other weekend event made specifically for people in your initial stages. That means if you're in KabU, or even if you're not in KabU, if you're following us on YouTube or Facebook, if you're in touch with our content at any level, you're all invited to the retreat, okay? So there's no weekend event. Not even Kabbalah conventions are made specifically with the goal of applying spirituality and making it part of your life at your specific, more beginner stages. So what does it mean to apply spirituality at the retreat? What is it about gatherings like the retreat that make spirituality practical?
Right, right. Let's open that up. Let's talk about that. Yeah. So look, you've been through, whether you're a KabU student studying in the preliminary courses that we have, like Kabbalah Revealed with Tony Kosanek, which you're probably familiar with, most of you, or with Julian, Kabbalah in Action, or just, you're kind of touring the materials, the wealth of materials that we have. And then probably you find yourself thinking, feeling that there's has to be a setting and a set and setting, an environment in which you can apply all that stuff that you're hearing about and get an actual tangible sensation of what these principles are about. And that's exactly the reason for holding such an event like the KabU Retreat. The idea is that we're coming with our points in the hearts. Everyone has their points in the hearts. We usually draw them like this. And what we want to do is we want to create for ourselves such an environment where all these things that we're learning about can begin to be felt between us. Now, here's the thing. Everything in Kabbalah is about our inner world. It's about our inner transformation. It's about the development of that unique desire that we have called the point in the heart, right? So why do we need to be in a single physical space? Well, the reason is that when we put ourselves together in a physical space with guidance and with a proper environment and with a certain kind of study framework that helps us practice these principles, we can begin to put all our focus, we're actually using this world to put all our focus on our inner world. So we're creating the most supportive, the most driving environment on the outside that helps us focus on the inside. And everything there is perfectly designed for people who perhaps just recently had this awakening of their point in the heart, or are just in their beginning stages of absorbing the materials and absorbing the concept, and you need to feel them strongly and practically and tangibly as much as possible, sort of for the first time. And that's why it's so important to create that perfectly designed environment where we can do this together. So you'll have everything that you need there in order to actually feel the material that you've been absorbing for a while. So I would say that's pretty much the main reason for holding a convention such as this, such a retreat, to actually get a tangible sense of all those principles.
Yeah, we've got a question here from Sonia Regina Roja Rodriguez asking, how can we start to contact the upper world?
Let's start even, what's her name again?
Sonia.
Sonia. Let's start from even, what is the upper world? Where is that? There we go. Here's my camera now. we're juggling cameras. So what's the upper world? How do we get in contact with that upper world? Well, the upper world is not somewhere up there, as you probably already know from our materials. The upper world is not somewhere up there in the clouds. The upper world is actually right next to our noses. The upper world is right between us. It is that deeper, unseen connection that binds together all of nature, all of reality, on all levels, from the still to the vegetative to the animate to the human level, on all the degrees of reality. All of reality is connected into one network. Now, how do we tap into that network? All right, so that's the upper world. Let's look at it more specifically. How do we tap into that connection that binds all things and all beings? we have to be similar to that network in our qualities. How do we do that? We have to come together and practice that kind of connection. Just like that upper world, that higher or deeper network that connects us in connections of complete interdependence and interconnection, and a quality of, at the highest level, a quality of unconditional love that connects us together by nature itself, by the greater force of nature. And we've gone to another camera. And so if we practice that kind of intention towards each other, that we want to experience such an unbounded connection to each other, to sense that we're actually all parts of that single network, which is like a single organism. And, I'm just giving the broad strokes, but everything we learn about in the wisdom of Kabbalah and from the articles of the Kabbalists, and everything that we will practice in that environment of the KabU Retreat is only about that. It's only about how do we access the network that connects us, which is the upper world, which is done through developing the right intention towards each other and that force that sustains and guides the network, which is what we call the Creator, or this higher quality of love and bestowal and unconditional, unbounded connection. And so this is right here. It's right between us. Every person, every human being, if you're a human being, you can feel it. There's only one requirement, and that's the desire for it. Because spirituality is not about space or time or anything physical. It's about the space, the inner space of desires and intentions. So if we have the right desire and we work on developing the right intention, that's how we get there. That's how we access it. Yeah.
Okay, another question from YouTube. By the way, we're broadcasting this on our YouTube channel, the Kabbalah Info YouTube channel. We're also broadcasting this through our Facebook page. Also, it's the Kabbalah Info Facebook page, as well as on the Retreat website, retreat.kabbalah.info/live. So Daniel from YouTube is asking, I'm wondering if there is nothing but God, and if God is in constant communication with himself all of the time, why do we have brains that allow us to make decisions, etc.? What would we need a brain for then?
Good question. Really good question. I like it.
Yeah. What's God? Let's start. Let's
Go for it.
What is God? And then what's the first part of the question? Why do we have brains? If God interacts with himself or something like that?
If God's in constant communication with himself and there's nothing but God, then why do we have brains that allow us to make decisions? What do we need brains for?
Well, first of all, sorry to kill the the greatness of human agency in this world, but our brains are not that big of a deal when you look at things from a spiritual perspective. God, call it God, the upper force, the Creator, this all-inclusive force of nature, of reality, the higher guidance that guides all of reality towards a certain purpose and a certain goal, okay? That is greater than anything, and greater and more inclusive and more comes before, prior. That's the word I was looking for. To anything you can think of in your brain. Kabbalist Dr. Lightman likes to give this example. Even when I'm speaking to you right now, and Ruth is nodding her head, and Marcus is looking at another question, and and I'm talking to you about it right now, and you're listening to it, that's also driven by that higher force. So your brain is great and all, don't get me wrong, but it's a consequence, and it's not on any causal level in the sense of how the causal level of reality works, which is the spiritual level of reality. So our brains are more like a broadcast than an actual actor, than an actual operator. Even deeper and easier to understand is this. Even deeper than the brain on a level that we can all feel is our desire. If you don't have a desire for something, which means that you can either benefit from it or be harmed by it, you'll never think about it. You know, our mind, our brain, is simply a servant of our desire. There's a great article from Kabbalist Yehuda Ashlag Baal Sulam specifically about that. Everything that we think about, you know, even when you contemplate the vastness of interstellar space, or when you think about, I'm kind of hungry, I want to get something from the fridge, it's all based on the desire. That's the initial actor. Now, who operates the desire? All our desires, which again, as I said, engender our various thoughts, any kind of thoughts that we have in our brain or in our minds. So they all come from our desires. Who gives us our desires? All of our desires are driven by that force that develops and gradually corrects our desire to become similar to itself, right? So God, as you started your question, or the creator or the higher force, is a quality of giving. Our desire was created as a quality of receiving. Gradually, through a process called the correction of creation, the correction of the created being, that quality of giving leads the quality of receiving to a new way of being, to a point at which that quality of receiving can receive with a new intention. Receive in order to bestow. By that it becomes similar to the act of giving, to the quality of giving. And everything that happens in our brain is simply thoughts that reflect desires that arise within us in that bigger, grand process. So, in a nutshell, our brains are great, but they don't really represent something of a volitional, independent act within creation.
All right, awesome. Okay, so anyone who's just joined in now, since we're live streaming this on a few platforms, what we're doing now is a live festive Q&A event. You can ask us any questions you want Kabbalah's answers to, and we'll answer it. It's in anticipation of the upcoming 2009 KabU Retreat. That's going to be in Pocono Springs Camp in Pennsylvania on September 20 to 22. So, if you have any questions about the upcoming retreat too, feel free to shoot them along to us as well, and we'll get to them. We're just about to go now and watch a short clip with Tony Kosinek, one of the senior KabU instructors here, and he's going to give us a few words about what is this KabU Retreat.
Go for it, Tony.
It isn't the ideas that change our lives. The concepts won't open up your perception of reality. To make the wisdom of Kabbalah real, you've got to learn how to live it. And that's what the KabU Retreat is. It's a spiritual boot camp where you can rise above the egoistic world for 3 days of immersion into a true Kabbalistic environment that functions just like the laws of nature. Learn to live them 24/7, building bonds of confidence that turn the love of friends into a connection with the upper force. Eat, sleep, serve, celebrate with fellow students and teachers from KabU at beautiful and comfortable Pocono Spring Camp. Turn your study into spiritual attainment. Make it real.
We're reminding now that if you register to the retreat, if you get your tickets during this event right now, you go into the draw that we draw at the end of the event to win $150 cash back on the retreat ticket. So not only do you get the early bird discount, you also get $150 cash back if you win.
All right. So win it.
So yeah.
Why
Can
not?
Can I go in that?
It's a great thing
can
to
I go
win.
in that also?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm even contemplating
yeah.
it myself. Like, there's no rules here that the people in the organization can't get the prizes, right?
I think there is.
There probably is. Yeah. Well, look, we're also giving away prizes during the event. So we're going to give the first prize away now, which is a book pack from Lateman Kabbalah Publishers at KabbalahBooks.info. First prize goes to Patrick Lamel, who's been actively asking questions on the retreat.kabbalah.info/live page.
Oh, go Patrick!
Nice one,
Oh, I
Patrick.
didn't bring my thing. What do you call that thing? You know, that party blower. The trump,
yeah, I know what you. I know what you
I'll bring
mean.
the
We all
next
know
one.
what you
Yeah.
mean.
We had them for our last one, you know. But way to
If you
go.
know how that thing is called, put it in the chat.
Yeah.
By the way, Ruth, you're
You'll
at the...
win. I don't know what you'll win for that. I'm not sure you'll win anything, but
I'll give you some Snickers.
Ruth, Ruth, you're in the KabU Retreat last year.
Yeah, it was.
How was it?
First of all, it was like a huge honor to be there, and where it's like all the time I'm always saying the same thing, but it's so true because like when you experience events like this type, it's like, you know, like you don't have words. It's just like there's so many sensations going on there. It's so powerful, incredible that words like just can't justify how beautiful and perfect and like what it is. But the honor and the pleasure to be in contact physically with all our KabU students and to meet them in person and connect there and to see how everyone is advancing and the connection that happens there in this retreat is just like mind blasting. It's like nothing like, you know, like we have these big conventions and they're really awesome and very powerful too, but this is like something much more intimate. You know, we're a much smaller group, so it's really intimate and you build really powerful connections there. Not that I'm saying another place, no, but this is just like a different level. It's something really geared towards our KabU virtual and physical students, and it's just wow, you know. I mean, like it's mind blasting, and we get into really strong contact with each other. You get personal attention there also because it's a smaller group. It's much more intimate, very strong connection. You're totally cut off from the world, you know, like all this corporeality craziness, and you're there in the nature. Everything's taken care of, your food, your sleeping arrangements and whatever, and there we're just like immersing into this atmosphere of connection, which is like, you know, you can't describe it in words, but it's something very powerful, very special. Like, wow. I can't wait. I'm so excited about September to see you all there, like to see all these shining points in the heart together. It's like such an honor. No words to describe.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, look, one of the things I can say is even when we had the convention earlier this year, there's people who turned up from just from following us on YouTube and on Facebook. There was a few like this, and it was just really inspiring to see how just people who aren't even connected to the study frameworks just turned up and were just swept into it. And I'm even in touch with a few of the guys that I met since then. It's amazing. You just like make friendships, and you're just swept into this supportive atmosphere at these gatherings.
Totally.
And the retreats are something even more special because it's you could say it's for a smaller group. It's a bit more intimate than a convention in general, which is broadcast all around the world, and Rav Lateman goes to the major conventions and everything. We've only held like 3 retreats in the past, and everyone who's been to retreats always comes up to us going like, why don't we do retreats again? Why don't we do retreats again? And this is one of the reasons we just started kicking it off again since last year. And since last year was such a big success, we're continuing it this year. So really, if you can make the effort to come to the retreat, it's more than worth it. So yeah, and we're just reminding as well that if you sign up during this event, retreat.kabbalah.info, get your tickets for the retreat. You also go into the draw to win. There you go. You also go into the draw to win $150 cashback on that retreat ticket. So let's hope that incentivizes you a bit more. But now back to the questions. Okay, I see that there's a few questions about the retreat itself. So let's just quickly get into these. Gisella's asking, it includes the cabins. The cost of the tickets, okay, there's a few questions here. The cost of the tickets includes the cabins, It includes the rooms there. It includes the food. It's meant for everybody. There's a question here whether it's meant for meant for Gentiles. It's meant for humanity. So if you're in humanity and you're interested in Kabbalah, you're welcome to come.
No, but these are good questions.
Good
Every
question,
question
yeah.
is legitimate and, and should be asked. Yeah, if you're a human being, then generally the wisdom of Kabbalah is for you. And and if you're a human being that already reached a point where you want to rise to a higher level of experience, then come to the KabU Retreat.
Definitely. So yeah, that's pretty much it about the retreat there. Also, Patrick was asking, will this retreat be recorded and shown at a later date? This is actually one of the things with the retreats, that they're not recorded and broadcast. It's like one of the intimate values of the retreat.
I want to say something about that.
Yeah.
Thank you for... Who asked the question?
Patrick.
Patrick, yeah.
The prize winner of the
prize
books.
winner. Look, as a prize winner, you should know this. Look, it's not about so much about there's going to be amazing content and there's a plan and everything, but it's not so much about the material and the knowledge. It's about the kind of let's say, electricity that we generate in the place, right? To use a metaphor, that's what it's about. You know, the guys here, Ruth and Marcus, tried to share from their experience. It is hard to describe in words, but I can say as well too that, you know, I'm studying Kabbalah for well over 15 years now, maybe like more like 16 years, something like that. I can tell you that in my first congresses, what I felt was like how everything I studied was knowledge, and it was like very exciting, and I was in awe from it, but it was just this close to my heart, but not sipping in, you know what I mean? And then when suddenly you're in such an environment that breaks that additional wall, cracks it a little bit, then you kind of feel what it's about. You feel what it's about. You know what it's about. You know, it's like you can talk about being a father or a mother, you know, for a long time and try to think about what that means, and then actually having a child. That it can never compare. So the kind of thing that we're creating in a retreat is not going through more or less material or knowledge or content together. It's creating that space, that environment, where we are beginning to produce that feedback between our points in the hearts. We're beginning to, you know, we talk a lot about of connection. Everyone talks about connection. The kind of connection we talk about in Kabbalah is not based on, you know, so why don't we just, you know, bring our family and our friends and everyone we have some earthly connection with, you know, because these connections in our world, they're based on our psychographic interests, on our what we like, our preferences, on familial connection, biology, genes. What we're creating is a spiritual connection between, which means a resonance between our points in the hearts. That's what we're creating in the place. That cannot be recorded in the camera. You know what I'm saying? Even if we did recorded all the lessons there, that's something you have to feel. So when we're creating an environment using the physicality of this world to put ourselves in it, then it's a lot easier for us to generate that kind of feedback loop or electricity or vibration, whatever you want to call it, between our points and the hearts. And that's the receiver for the upper world, for that greater human network that connects us. All right, went on a long tangent here. I'm sorry.
No, it's good. It's good.
What's that?
I was into it.
Yeah.
Vivian on YouTube is asking, what is the proper inner preparation to be around the friends in order to get the most of our moment of connection together? Sounds like she's going to the retreat. So
sounds like Ruth knows the answer.
Yeah.
proper inner
Now,
preparation.
let's all give something. It's not an easy question. You just nailed it. That's the whole thing. The whole thing is preparation. The whole thing is how you come there. Is what you want to get out of it. That's the whole thing. It's like, let's pitch in.
How are you preparing, Ruth, to be around the friends there at the event?
Well, first of all, I'm helping Marcos to write mails to talk about the Poconos, and like say for example this event that a lot of people that are behind the scenes, like Oded's over there in another room helping make sure all the broadcasting is working on, and Rachel's upstairs in the next floor, making sure everything's working, and she's like designing the set and like all this stuff, like this is also part of preparation.
Marcus.
Yeah, I mean that's basically a big point. The more you invest in the participation in any means possible, from buying your own ticket to the retreat, that already makes a big difference. The moment you get your ticket, it's just you're already in a different mindset. Even if you're planning to go and you haven't bought the ticket yet, just that leap already puts you in a different mindset. That's already inner preparation, even just registering and doing these physical actions like raising the importance of the event. What are we actually doing here in this event? All we're really doing...
It's a preparation event,
It's a preparation event where we're trying to raise the importance of the event, because it'd be great to see more of you there, especially for those who've never been to such an event before. Even if you've been to a convention, it's not like a retreat. The intimacy of a retreat, the special atmosphere that's generated there, it's something very special. So this is the inner preparation that we're doing, disseminating to each other the importance of such a gathering and what we can get from such a gathering, and participating in that in whatever forms we can, from getting your own ticket to learning about what's going to be at the retreat, going to the website and seeing what's going to be there. That already is a form of preparation. There's going to be music posted there. There'll be updates on the website. You can listen to that stuff. You go to the KabU lessons. Until then, you follow the YouTube channel, follow all the content coming out. All this is considered inner preparation. And then we come there, and then it's like all this knowledge that we're accumulating on the path. This is why we say that we apply spirituality at the retreat. That all just comes into this click at the retreat. That it just comes into a connection. The connection between us. There's always the sensation of a special force binding us at such events. It's something that we just can't explain, and that's why we just say put everything aside to just take that weekend, where all you need to do is just do any effort possible to get yourself in the door. Although it's not really a door, it's like an open space there, but there'll be some door there.
In the trees.
Yeah, and then you'll just be swept into this supportive environment with this sublime force around us, and everything will be fine. Everything will be more than fine. It'll be really great, and you'll discover new friendships and make new connections, get much more deeper spiritual discernments than what you can get through trying to learn it alone. That's...
Can I add something to that? So I just wanted to say that we also have a new semester opening up on August 25th for Kabbalah Revealed Part 1. So you're welcome to join up if you're not on KabU, and to try out one of our courses. It's absolutely free. You can try it out. If it's good for you, that's awesome. That's also a good, good way to prepare if you're thinking about coming, or just like if you want to get closer and understand more about this amazing wisdom, you're welcome to sign up. And if you have ever any questions, we'll put the address in the chat, but you can write to us also at kabu@kabbalah.info, and we'll give you information, whatever you ask, whatever we can. Your wish is our desire, and so just feel free,
Yeah. All right, I'll throw in another aspect on inner preparation, just very quickly. Look, the whole thing about perception of reality is that we perceive what we want to perceive, what we are focused on, what we direct ourselves to. Just like a radio receiver, that there's a bunch of different wavelengths around it that surround it, but you tune it to a certain frequency and you get a certain radio station. Maybe a more familiar example these days is we all have these You know, the internet, it's the biggest database, you know, of humanity's knowledge, whatever. And, you know, you type a specific URL in order to get to a specific place. Same thing here. You have your body and your desires and all kinds of details about your personality and who you are and all of that, and you have a point in the heart. Focus on developing, exercising, stimulating your point in the heart, and putting all the rest, keeping it outside. What you want to, it's about what you want to focus on and what you don't want to focus on. And so if you put all of your energies, all of your focus, mostly focus on developing your inner preparation we came with, how focused we are, how much we want to develop and increase that desire for spirituality, that point in the heart that we have, that is what the preparation is all about. All right.
All right, let's go into a couple more. There's people yearning for some Kabbalistic answers here to a few questions. Noah Guzman, congratulations. It's your first time encountering us. So Noah is asking, Shalom. What was the reason the Creator created humanity? It's the first time I'm seeing you.
Yeah, maybe there's also even a tone of like, what for? Come on. Why do you need that? You know, why create humanity? Look how much mess we're making on this planet, right? Where we're making a mess. Half of the world is suffering. I don't know. Just threw in half. The other half is making sure that the first half keeps suffering. You know, it's not so much a successful project if you think about it. So why create humanity? Well, because the Creator wants to give. I'll say it simply. Look, He wants to give. Give what? Everything. Everything that He has. All of the abundance that exists in the upper force, He wants to bestow that upon a created being. But there's a problem. The problem is that if He just creates a creature and then fills it up, then that creature has no independence, no awareness of himself, and he can never become more than a receiver of a gift. Right? It's a simple thing. Just like when you want to, as a result of that in our world, when we as parents want to give something to our children, we know that if we just keep giving them, they don't develop anything, any sense of independence, and they don't also become, you know, corrected human beings who can function of their own will and accord and agency, and, you know, and be able to actually be on a human being, on the level of a human being. They'll be just like, you know, receiving charity, so to speak. And so the Creator wants the same thing for the created being. He wants to develop the created being. That's why He has to create a creation and then shatter that creation and put it in a state where it's opposite and detached from Himself. That's where humanity comes into the picture. Humanity is a result of that shattering that took place in a very, very deep causal level of reality that Kabbalists tap into when they attain spirituality. They go as if deeper down the rabbit hole of what makes up reality. And from that point, they see that we're all pieces, shattered pieces of a single collective entity. And the whole point of creating us, the whole point in creating us and shattering us, which is all done by greater causal processes that happen prior to our understanding and sensation of ourselves, is so that we can then grow and develop to become nothing less than similar to that higher force that created us. Sounds lofty, sublime, maybe even too big to conceive of, but that's the wisdom of Kabbalah, my friends. That's where it takes us to, and it's amazing if you begin to actually understand the kind of the kind of opportunity that we have. So there's a point in creating humanity.
Even
after all.
Snickers. Even Snickers is stuff.
What about that?
Well, I mean, like I could give you a Snickers, right? Because I know that you really like Snickers.
It's
right?
true.
Yeah, and then you could like be in the intention of like taking the Snickers because
I will work on my intention and accept the gift
You see?
after our session.
After our session, but I'm just like using it as an example, right?
Of course.
So like if you can take a Snickers, because Asaf really likes chocolate, and if I give him chocolate, he'll smile. So I never really like to see Asaf smile. I like to see him because he's my bro, so I want to see him happy. So I can give him a Snickers, and then like he will be in intention that he's going to accept the Snickers from me because he knows it's going to make me happy because I want to give him a Snickers so he'll be happy.
It's very
Like
complicated.
that, right? It's not.
It's very
it's
complicated.
It's not.
Because
it's not.
I like both the sneakers,
Yeah. So
and
he's got to think
so-
about, to pray to think about making me happy and not like thinking about the Snickers. But if he's able to do that, then he'll be like super, like the Snickers is going to be even 100 times more delicious, and he's going to be like really happy because he's focusing on making someone else happy by eating the Snickers that they gave him.
All right,
Did
nice.
I confuse
All right.
that? Or was that okay? Was that okay, guys?
I think it's fine.
It
It's good.
helped for those with the sweet tooth.
Yeah.
I mean,
Look,
like nothing was created for nothing, That's the whole thing.
Okay, we've got another question here. More Kabbalah related questions. Another one from YouTube by Justin Ivy.
Hey, Justin.
How do we know we're perceiving through the point in the heart?
Well, look, the point in the heart, it's an amazing thing that it's, on the one hand, it's an intangible, internal, non-physical thing. On the other hand, it is something that people who experience it report asking the exact same questions, feeling very similar sensations of being as if, detached from this world, of asking yourself, what is happening here? Not just here where I am, but here in general, the biggest here, like the grand scheme of things here. What is going on in this reality? Where is it going? What's the source of it? Is there a source to it? And if so, then why don't we see it? What's the point of being alive? What's the purpose and the reason for living a life? What's the meaning of life? Is it just about going through this rat race for whatever 80, 90 years, take some anti-aging pills today, you'll do a few years more, and that's it? What happens afterwards? You give back the equipment and then you're done? Like, where's it going? What's it all about? So people, and it is, why am I saying this is unique to human beings. Rocks, plants, and animals don't ask, why am I here? What is this for? Kabbalists essentially are people just like you, me, and Ruth, who simply decided that they want to focus on these questions. They want to grab hold of that point within them that asks these questions and not let it go. And what they discovered is when they do that, it begins to blossom and evolve and unfold into a vessel that perceives, receives, and is sensitive to a deeper layer of reality. That's it. So, how do you know if you're exercising your point in the heart? That was sort of the question, right? That was more or less. It is if you're focusing on that. While being in this world, you don't have to, you don't have to die first. You don't have to try to limit whatever it is that you're doing in this world. But through this external reality, through your five senses, you're developing as though an inner sense, another sense of answering those questions. And again, this is so unique and shared by human beings. It's such a funny thing, every 5-year-old, 6-year-old about this age, more or less, when you begin to have some self-awareness and differentiation between yourself and the environment in a clear way, where you can ask some questions, it appears in our minds pretty much at that age to every human being. You know, what's going on here? Daddy, mommy, why am I alive? What are we living for? What's happening? It appears in slightly different ways, you know, but pretty much that's what it's about. And it's because it's a natural thing. But in our society, in our culture, you know, it's considered like out there, far-fetched, weird, not really, it's not given the proper legitimacy, support, education, and driving, you know, environment to practice it and apply it. That's where the wisdom of Kabbalah steps in. That's why, you know, we're holding, we're having events like the KabU Retreat, where we can actually give that point all the room and nourishment that it needs in order to blossom. So yeah.
Okay, we'll have one more question and then we'll go to another video.
Great questions, guys.
Yeah, really nice.
Way to go. Amazing, amazing.
There's lots of good questions here. It's very hard to choose. Here's one from the webpage on the retreat.kabbalah.info/live webpage by Kimberly. Kimberly's asking, it's a nice question too. Does Kabbalah teach you to open your mind and thoughts, or is it for connecting to one another?
One and the same, Kimberly. Very nice. It's opening your minds and thoughts, really, meaning expanding perception, expanding human perception, is only possible through connecting to that point that perceives more in other human beings. So we're not connecting to our bodies, to our different interests in this world, as we do usually, typically in standard, you know, friendships. But we're connecting to that perception vessel that we have. That is what expands human thought and desire, she said, or human thought and emotion, right?
Opening mind and thoughts.
Opening our minds and thoughts. Even when a scientist, you know, uses a certain tool to expand the range of our perception, it doesn't really extend our perception. It only extends the range of our current perception. It doesn't expand the human himself. Scientists don't change themselves. They only change their tools in order to try to better observe something. So I have a microscope, I can see deeper into matter. I have a telescope, I can see farther than what I'm seeing. That's not the kind of expansion of human perception on a fundamental level. In order to actually expand human emotion, human sensitivity to reality, what we have to do is connect with other sensors. It's very simple. And it's a connection that we need to learn how to do. And once again, that's why we have the wisdom of Kabbalah, and also why we practice it in all kinds of settings to exactly practice that, connecting these sensors between us. All right.
We're going to go out to another video. Afterwards, we're going to announce another prize winner for people asking questions, and we're going to get to more of your questions. There's lots of good questions here.
Right.
And this video, it's just something special. Firstly, this is an exclusive. This hasn't been shown before, and it won't be shown in its current form again. It's actually a video in the making. It's an unfinished video that actually shows the retreat from last year.
Oh.
And I watched it, and I was like really inspired as soon as I saw it.
I haven't watched it. Right?
I haven't seen it either. This is
no
a
one's
surprise
seen
for all of us.
I got it straight from the video
Yes, the
editor
popcorn.
who hasn't finished it yet. So we're all going to witness this amazing raw experience of last year's KabU Retreat
Cool.
right now. Let's get into it.
Really quiet. It's a very, very simple chorus. It's everything comes from above except our love. And everything depends on the love, on it. Here we go. Everything comes from above except our love. And everything depends on it, depends on it, depends on it.
Through tonight's exercise, and I wish each of you could just reach in and take out some of this heat or even fire. I'm sure you all have that same kind of feeling.
And everything depends on it, depends on it, depends on it. Everything comes from above, except our love. And everything depends on it, depends on it, depends on it.
All right.
Wow, wow,
It's
wow.
nice, very nice.
Nice.
So
Wow.
yeah, that's that was really nice. I really liked just the rawness of seeing all these things happening at the retreat. Hopefully that gives you a little bit of a feel of something that goes on there. I know that doesn't really give a feel
It
of it though,
doesn't, but
because
it gives sort of the environment.
Yeah.
I think, and that's nice. It manages to capture like the
Yeah.
kind of like very warm, very friendly, very open, very comfortable, space to practice spiritual connection. Yeah,
that's
good.
right.
For me, it was really powerful because I was there, right? I feel
Yeah,
like
so
when
you
I was
felt it.
looking at that, I felt like it was just like, oh my God, when was that?
Right, because
Was
you
this like
have-
yesterday.
Right, because you
Oh.
you have like a recollection, so it pulls it out of you. That's a different
Totally, and the
experience.
song there and the campfire, everything comes from above except our love. Like, it's just so powerful, and those words are so true. Because, the wisdom of Kabbalah is all based around that, this love, this higher love. And, I mean, it's like, you're not going to find anything more practical in the world than how to get to this higher love through the wisdom of Kabbalah. And I mean, from a searcher that was like, just went through everything, was like, I give up. What the hell's going on with this world? And then it was just like, the wisdom of Kabbalah, Benebo, was in my face. And I was like, oh my God, here it is. It's like, this is what I was looking for. Hallelujah. Like, wow, I found it,
Yeah.
it's actually existing.
I would also say, like, maybe, for people who, again, haven't been to these kinds of conferences, a Kabbalah convention, you may look at the footage and it looks like, very nice, very positive, but kind of socializing. And that's just the outer skin of it, it's just the
Totally.
packaging. Because what makes the difference, and again, it's not captured in cameras, as we said in response to other questions, is people bring that point in the heart, and that's what lives in the space, and that's what fills the package, So anyway.
Yeah, there's nothing like
Yeah.
being part of an environment where there's this projection of this inner support and everyone working to support each other to achieve a spiritual result. That's really what's happening there. But again, until you actually experience it, it's all just words and nothing really gets grasped. It's like, this is why we try to just keep explaining, just make the leap, do it. If you're in contact with the materials, the best thing you could possibly do to really get a feeling of it, and as we're saying, apply spirituality, is to just do it. Go to a gathering like this, go to the retreat. It doesn't happen very often. Once a year is the retreat, even just from last year. So now's the time. Retreat.kabbalah.info, that's where you can get your tickets. And as we're doing the promotion tonight, $150 cash back for anyone who registers right now during this event until the end of the event. We'll announce the winner then. And you have a good chance of winning too, because there's up to a dozen people who register during such events. So go for it. There's a good chance that you'll get that prize pack as well. And we're going to give a second prize now to Alexander Silberman, who asked a question through the live page, the retreat.kabbalah.info/live page. He's going to get a couple of books from Laitman Kabbalah Publishers, KabbalahBooks.info. And what is the question that he asked? He asked the question, can we hear a specific example or two of activities we'll be doing at the retreat? So
Sure.
I think it's a good question to ask right after seeing that video. even now, like just as we were saying, that you can't really capture the feeling that we get at the retreat through any video or through any explanation. You have to actually go there to feel it. The activities, specific examples, is more or less the activities that we do all the time. Lessons, workshops, cultural events like what you saw there. You know, it's the same kind of activities, but each time we do them, it's always with a different kind of preparation, a different approach. The lessons will be taking us through all kinds of things we'll be experiencing at the retreat, all kinds of, you'll have all kinds of experiences, and then all kinds of discernments, and you'll come into a lesson, and then it's a chance to scrutinize those and make some progress on those, and literally work with what we get. And then we'll have workshops where we'll take questions from the instructors at the lessons, and we'll be able to, as if, put it through this processing among each other and find a deeper connection there. And maybe you guys can expand on it a bit.
I'll expand on one specific activity. Is the workshop. The workshop is a major tool that we're using that is experienced in the best, most potent kind of form in a physical form. There's what can you do? That is it really is the sort of like the best use of time and space in this reality for spiritual development, because we're sitting together, we're dividing up to groups, to circles, and that's a huge difference between, you know, in studying the wisdom of Kabbalah and practicing the wisdom of Kabbalah versus, you know, absorbing information. Whatever information, even right now, you know, we're talking about content and we're giving you information, and as if you're absorbing it. It's a whole different way of absorption. It's a whole different thing. In a workshop, so people are divided to groups in a way that is kind of sizable, you know, like 8 people or 10 people, not more than that, so we can kind of have a feel of an environment or a group that we can capture in our human senses, you know. So it's not a huge crowd, it's a group of people. And so then what happens is that the content, the material, instead of just being poured on us from an instructor, it comes through between us, because we're all talking about it in a way, in a very unique way. We follow certain guidelines where we add on top of each other, and we sort of massage that. You know, we'll discuss that at length in the retreat itself and practice it. But you begin to see how what the others are saying, they're all, you know, expanding you. The sensation of a really good workshop, a Kabbalistic workshop, is that you sort of you lose your beginning and end. It doesn't matter who said what. Everyone is becoming this one sort of. There's a vibration that's playing through the circle, you know, sort of like, let's say, as an example, what happens when a band plays well together. So it's just music. It's not, you know, one guy with a drum and another guy with a guitar and someone else with a bass guitar or something like that. It's music. So think about that metaphor and, you know, and apply that to the absorption of spiritual content. So you see, these are things you need to experience. You need to be in them and not just talk about them. All right.
Yeah, just a couple of other questions here about the retreat. We can just get them through them quickly. Lydia's asking on the webpage here, are spouses okay to bring? What if the spouse had a service animal? Spouses are totally okay to bring them along. Service animals, don't think it should be a problem at all. But you want to check with KabU at kabbalah.info. Send an email there.
Sorry, about service. What do you mean, like service animals, a dog or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Unfortunately, well, we can double check again. We did try last year. There was really we tried our best. Like we talked to the vendors and everything, and it just wasn't possible. They didn't let us.
So there you go with the service animal.
Yeah. I'm just telling you, know, like straightforward. There was just our experience from last year. We did try, but we can try again. Like I can't guarantee anything, but yes, true. I mean, we were like talking to them for a week. Like there was a couple, they had to bring their dog with them, and they didn't allow it, unfortunately.
So Lydia, just write an email to KabU at
I
kabbalah.info with your question, and they'll check that for you specifically for this event, and we'll see what can be done for you.
Yeah, I put the address in the chat.
Okay,
on
cool.
YouTube.
And any special, Raisa Garrido is asking, are there any special lectures that we need to read before the retreat? The best thing you could do before the retreat is we're going to have these events, so we're going to have a couple more of these as well. So attend these, follow the content on where you're following it on YouTube. If you're part of KabU, then make sure you're going to the events at KabU. There's going to be special preparation lectures on KabU toward the event. If you're not part of KabU, then now's a great time to become part of KabU. You just go to kabbalah.info and then just click the banner there to start the KabU course. You'll see it there, it's the main banner, and then you just sign up to KabU and you already get part of the system, and you'll be able to follow the lectures toward the event. That's basically it. The more you can absorb toward the event, the better. But even if you don't know anything, even if you just turn up with a desire to want to participate, a desire to want to experience something spiritual and be a part of it, that'll also work, and you'll be part of a supportive environment that'll just sweep you up into it. So even without preparation, you'll still experience something special, but the more preparation you can do, the more you can get out of it. So that's what I have to say about that. We have as well here a couple more questions about Kabbalah.
Can I
You
say
want
something?
to add something to that?
No, I just saw that Rachel was writing that Michelle from Spain is coming to the retreat. It's going to be her first time.
Oh, nice. Congratulations.
Freaking awesome.
Wow. Michelle from Spain.
Way to go.
From Spain.
Michelle.
Waiting for you.
Ole,
Very
ole.
Write us a question in Spanish. Got Google Translate here, it's not a problem.
This is great.
Okay, we got some, going back to the Kabbalah general questions. We've got a few questions here about the Messiah. One by Big Zini asking, when will the Moshiach or the Messiah arrive? And also both Justin, Ivy and Big Zini are asking, what's the difference between Messiah ben David and Messiah ben Yosef?
Oh.
So
Sorry
the Messiah is going viral.
All right. Let's talk about the Messiah. So, Big Zini and Justin?
Yep.
All right. You're interested in the Messiah, aren't you? All right. Look, first of all, let's talk about what it isn't. Okay? There's a common belief about there's all kinds of beliefs, but there's a common one about someone riding on a horse or something like that and coming to usher in the era of whatever it is that needs to happen. There's all kinds of corporeal depictions.
No, don't tell me it's not that.
They are interesting, legendary, mystical.
You're hitting me in my whole childhood.
But no, look, this isn't what's going on, according to Kabbalah. The word just means something completely different. Mashiach, that's the word. Okay, I won't make it more difficult with Hebrew letters. In case you're interested, okay. So Mashiach essentially is a word that in Hebrew, Messiah, right? So Messiah. So that is essentially a word that means it comes in Hebrew. It comes from the word limshoch, which means to pull. It is a force that, as if, pulls human beings to a higher level of human experience, to their higher level of development. It's nothing more than an evolutionary force in reality. Just like there's a force of evolution that drives any kind of creature to evolve, there's also a force of spiritual evolution. What we need to do in order for that force to come is to prepare our desire for spiritual development. So, you want to bring the Messiah? Desire spiritual development. It's not a character of any sort. It's not any corporeal thing. It is a spiritual evolutionary force. And it is standing by for when humans are demanding it. That's why there is this dynamic that it's described. There's this symbolism of the coming of the Messiah. Like people are expecting someone to come. It's not someone and it's not something. It is the force that develops us spiritually, that controls our spiritual evolution, and it arrives or it is activated when we activate it, when we trigger it with developing a strong enough desire for spiritual development. And that's called the coming of the Messiah. So hopefully, we don't need to keep seeing the diagram. I'm not gonna add some more to it. It's okay. Thank you. So that's what Messiah is really about, according to Kabbalah.
All right, Michelle from YouTube. I'm not sure if it's the same Michelle coming from Spain, but Michelle from YouTube is asking: is Zeir Anpin the same as Adam? Going straight into the depths.
Oh, into the nitty gritty.
There is something in I can't explain the whole wisdom of Kabbalah, the whole course of the structure of the upper worlds in 2 minutes. So I'll give you just a zip of something related to what you asked. There's a structure called the 10 Sfirot. What is it? It's the structure of our soul. Okay? So we all have that structure and discover the same structure when we attain spirituality. There's just like a human being in this world can talk to another human being and go like, hey, I have my sense of hearing, seeing and hearing and smell and touch. That's how a person who developed his soul would say, hey, keter chokhmah bina zeir anpin malchut. And so there are 10 Sfirot. Zeir Anpin is a certain part in that structure, which is very unique, which is sort of a summary or a collection of 6 Sfirot out of the 10, because what happens in it is that there is a certain activation there that happens in the structure, where the quality of the created being and the quality of the creator that lies within the created being come to a certain kind of dynamic, to a certain kind of mutual work. And all of that happens within the structure of the soul. So I don't know if we should get into more details than that, but does that answer the question? What was the question again?
Let's go back to the question. Is Zeir Anpin the same as Adam?
Okay. No, Adam means the collective created being, the collective soul that was created, that all of us are a part of. It was shattered. So today, in this life, in this world, we feel ourselves as separated. According to 2019, about 8 billion separated individuals. According to spiritual reality, one collective being. That collective being is called Adam. Okay? Zeir Anpin is what I explained 2 minutes before, which was probably too complicated for people who didn't study the structure of the structure of the soul yet, which you can learn in KabU, and the teacher, our prime KabU teacher for that, Eran, will also be in the KabU Retreat.
Yeah,
I'll be there as well. So, ask him questions about Zeir Anpin. Go there and ask him questions about Zeir Anpin.
It's not just Zeir Anpin. We got questions a bit here about the lights of Naran Chai, the upper and lower parts of Bina. How do we raise Malchut to Bina?
No,
We can't go into all that.
Things
Maybe
right
I know why, because Iran is usually giving his preface to the wisdom of Kabbalah, Pticha lesson now during what we're doing. Since he's gone on holidays for a couple of weeks, we've decided to have a party here.
Give us one. The
Let's
best
do it.
one.
Okay, I think the
He's
best one is
actually
this.
giving the
Or
lesson
from
here in the studio,
Justin.
right?
Or
Yeah,
throw
yeah.
a bunch of
Yeah.
them.
Now
Or
let's
throw
do
a
it.
bunch of them, and we'll just yeah.
Justin, let's take one of yours, Justin. How do we raise Malchut to the level of Bina?
Raise it. It's no. It's that's the correct question. Malchut represents. But I'll try to answer in a way for people who probably don't have the background that you have. I'm assuming that you studied some of the lessons with some of the preface to the Wisdom of Kabbalah lessons. So Malchut represents the quality of the created being, a quality of reception. Bina represents the quality of the creator, a quality of bestowal. What needs to happen for the correction of creation to happen, for the purpose of creation to be achieved, is that the quality of reception connects with the quality of bestowal. How do we do that? That's exactly the kind of work that we do when everyone comes to that practice of connection with other Kabbalah students, with their inborn human ego on the one hand, and their point in the heart on the other hand. And when we work to raise our points in the hearts above our ego, to make that connection between the points in our hearts more important than our ego, what we do is essentially raising Malchut to Bina. It follows the same dynamic of what we need to do. Okay, that's again, that's just a kind of a, in a nutshell, without getting too technical about it. All right, so
Okay, Dan's watching on YouTube and it seems like he's in a 10. He's saying, in our 10, we discuss how can we increase our connection. Do you have any words of advice on how we can increase and strengthen the connection?
every day the best advice that I hear comes from the daily lesson with Rav Lightman, Kabbalist Dr. Michael Lightman, which we attend every day. Why am I saying that? Look, what you're asking, first of all, it's an advanced question. If there's a group of people who are regularly practicing and working on their connection, that's something we call a 10 in the wisdom of Kabbalah. It doesn't necessarily have to be exactly 10 people, but the kind of connection they aim for is a connection that is represented in the number 10, which represents a wholeness, a certain level of wholeness, such as the 10 sfirot, which is the perception, the vessel of the soul, right? The structure of the soul. So, what did I say that every day I get advice? Because this is something that you need to constantly work on and hear about it and constantly raise the importance of it, because it keeps evading our perception. We keep finding ourselves in sort of a struggle. Let's find a more soothing word for it, like in sort of an internal kind of dialogue between what we know and we're familiar with from this world, and what we know and familiar with from our own personal interests, and then this point in the heart that connects to a 10, to that structure of a whole connection, and what we feel there. And so you constantly have to work on that. It's not like there's this one thing that that can now be the magic tip of some sort. What we generally do with each other in such a group of 10 is constantly raise the importance of our points in the hearts, of our spiritual efforts. We constantly try to see that point in the heart, the greatness of that desire in each and every one of the members of the 10. That's a lot of work, because by nature, by default, we tend to not see it. And we try to constantly together wash ourselves with these lofty texts that pick us up from where we are and raise us to a higher perception. The Kabbalistic authentic texts. That's essentially what you do in a 10 in a minute. You know, there's a whole universe of work and spiritual work that happens in that. You want to?
Yeah, specifically because the wisdom of Kabbalah doesn't come to. There we go. Specifically, since the wisdom of Kabbalah doesn't come to replace anything in our life, you know, you continue working, you continue doing everything you do with the family, everything you do in your life, and the wisdom of Kabbalah comes in as an addition that allows us to attain the soul while we're going through all that, while we're going through everything we go through. So this is one of the many reasons why working in that daily, regular way to inspire ourselves with this idea of connection and working on that connection in the 10 is so important. But also together with this daily work, so we have such events, you know, there's all kinds of different events, you know, from weekly events that we do to inspire ourselves to like major events that we do annually or every few months, like the retreat coming up in September, which are there specifically to really take that connection to a whole new level, where through preparing for it, by you know, registering ourselves to the event and absorbing materials and getting ourselves into that mindset of what's going to be there. Just from the registration to the event, you're already into some expectation. I can just tell an example. You know, I live in Israel, but I'm originally from Australia. Yeah, so you know, you don't obviously fly back too often because it's very expensive. So whenever I'm mentioning to my family in Australia that, you know, I'm going for a trip there in the next 4 months or something, and you know, you get your tickets there, there's already this expectation. They're already thinking about it, doing things, planning things in relation to it, and it's almost like the taste of that visit is already in the air. So it's the same thing with the retreat.
And you too, you're preparing yourself and practicing that mate.
That's right.
Mate.
I work on getting my Australian accent back to that raw kind of level that it was from. So
and all the slang, all the Aussie slang.
Well,
it's a lot of work.
If I brought it out here, just no one would understand me. It's kind of like taking on a more globalized form now.
Yeah.
But anyway, like. So this is what we're saying. You sign up to an event like that, and that inspiration of connection just comes as like this bonus, as like this default that just enters your life a lot more than by not entering such events. This is precisely why we hold such gatherings, to really inspire us and raise us to that connection, or like we heard earlier, from Malchut to Bina. So. Yeah. Look, we have so many questions, but we're coming now into the last 10 minutes, so we're gonna pretty much wrap it up there. We're gonna go into one more video now,
all right,
where we'll listen to some words from Kabbalist Dr. Michael Laitman speak about this connection that we come to sense. So we'll listen to this, and then we'll go into the final prize winners. Now is also the time where, if you haven't registered to the retreat, and if you're planning to register, go in and do it now, and after the clip we're gonna do a final check of who's registered. I've already seen a few who've registered. Also Alexander just wrote, "Thank you for your answers." He's super excited and he registered during the event. I see a couple more here as well.
Yeah, great.
So that's very exciting. We're gonna do the draw after the clip. So if you haven't done it, it literally takes like, you know, if you start now, you might have a chance to still make it in time. So now's the time to do it. retreat.kabbalah.info. Sign up for the retreat, and you go into the draw to win that $150 cashback.
Which we will announce after the video clip?
After the video clip.
Oh.
Yeah. So now we'll go into the video. Let's listen to Rav, Kabbalist Dr. Michael Laitman, talk about connection.
Connection. It's something that exists neither in you nor in me. Connection, it's something between us. It doesn't exist in you. Don't search for it on the inside. I love him, he's inside me. Okay. And he says the same. I love you, you're inside me. That's still not connection. That's how each feels the other. Connection, it means that between us, between you and me, not the bodies, but the feeling of me and you. There's a connection where we feel ourselves close and closer and closer until I feel that me and you, it's not that you're in me and I'm in you, but both of us are as one. It's something that you have to start feeling, that the place between us neither belongs to me nor to you, but we're together. That means together. That means together. Together, it means that we're canceling myself and yourself. There's no such thing, but the only thing that exists is the together, and that together is the root. That's the revelation of the Creator to His creatures.
All right. So,
yeah. By the way, we Ruth and I just woo, that was an amazing effect.
Yeah.
There.
That was a natural one.
There we go.
Okay.
Yeah, very nice. So, all kinds of phenomena begin to happen when you study Kabbalah. So yeah, Ruth and I were just kind of noticed that we both thought about it to mention that in the KabU Retreat, even though Rav Leitman is not there physically, we will definitely have at some point an opportunity for some virtual connection with him for the people who will attend the retreat. So that also take that into account if you were asking that. If you're asking yourself, so some sort of a virtual connection with Rav Leitman will happen during the retreat as well for the participants. Yeah. So.
All right. So yeah, great. And we're gonna draw first the prize winner of the next book pack for people who have asked questions during the event.
Roll.
If you want to, yeah.
Ruth, that's what you're here for?
No, together.
Okay, I'll add the hi-hat.
All right.
Okay, just drum.
And the winner of that is Darren.
Darren!
Who asked through the website. So hope you enjoy the books. We didn't actually get around to asking your questions, but come to the next ones. We're going to have 2 more such events, and we can get to them. So hope you enjoy your books.
Congratulations.
And now we're going to do the final refresh of the registration page.
Oh.
Ooh. That's a big drum roll.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah. Okay, so now let's see what we got here. Okay.
Yeah.
Look at that. 2 registrations to the retreat during the event. So people who registered to the event, you see how much you got a chance to win the prize money when you registered during this event. Yeah. So keep that in mind for the next event, because I think now it's already too late.
Right.
Even
So
if
you have to register during the event.
All right, I'm opening up the.
If I'm stalling a little bit, can they still register and have a chance?
You can try, but I'll do one more refresh. I'm already.
Be interesting and exciting.
Why don't you just try it right now? Just give it a shot. Give it a shot. Our system may take you into consideration without Marcus's ability to control it, and you're in. It can just happen. Just register.
All right, let's see if someone had the
stop
super
stalling?
fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, no more registrations.
All right.
Okay.
So we have.
So here we go. Random number generator is activated.
Okay.
1 will be, let's see, Raisa, and 2 will be Alexander. Both of these are registered now. 1 looks like Raisa. You have just won the $150 cashback prize. So when you get to the retreat, just approach Ruth and ask her for money.
Yeah. It's your life or the money. Yeah, I'll have the money for you.
So that's
I'm waiting. Wow, that's going to be really exciting to meet you at the retreat. Wow, what an honor, what a privilege. Cool. And you also got a big prize. That's really, really awesome.
Yeah, it's cool.
Very.
Look, it was really fun, guys, being with you all tonight. You wanted to say something?
So who's getting books?
Who's getting books? Who's getting books? Getting books is Patrick, Alexander, and Darren.
All right, so Alexandra is also getting books.
Yeah, so Alexander.
All right. I just wanted to make sure that you know that you're getting books.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, as I said, it's been great fun being with you all tonight. We're going to hold more events like these toward the retreat, 2 more to be exact. So keep an eye out for them. Keep an eye out in your emails or on the YouTube channel, wherever you're watching this. Again, thank you very much to Lateman Kabbalah Publishers who provide the book packages and the prizes. And they also have a store-wide 20% off sale right now. You just enter the coupon code LIGHT, L-I-G-H-T, at checkout, and you can take advantage of that. That's at kabbalahbooks.info.
So kabbalahbooks.info, coupon code LIGHT.
Light, yeah.
Okay, uppercase, lowercase?
Uppercase.
Uppercase.
That's a good point.
Uppercase, LIGHT, coupon code, go get your books. The books are an amazing, way for spiritual development and preparation for the KabU Retreat as well.
Yeah, and in general, you're asking so many questions here. One of the best ways to just attack questions in the wisdom of Kabbalah is you just take the questions you have into the material, and you're reading books, and then you just see how the books start answering the questions. It's like an amazing thing. I remember, especially when I started studying, even till today, this is how it works. You come, you have questions, you start going through the material, and it's almost like miraculously the book starts talking specifically to the questions you have. So there's that. And the retreat, let's just give it one more plug. So the KabU Retreat, this year it's on at Pocono Springs Camp in Pennsylvania. If we can see there we go. On September 20 to 22. Early bird tickets are also available now until the 1st of September. It's really until the 31st of August.
So
it's
early bird means they're cheaper tickets.
Cheaper tickets, yeah.
That I can get if I go ahead and
register
before September.
Before, let's say, the end of August, because it's like 1 a.m. on September the 1st.
So until the end of August, I have an opportunity to get cheaper tickets to the KabU Retreat.
That's right, yeah.
Okay,
so you want to take advantage of that as well. Why not? It also helps preparations in general, knowing how many people are coming and preparing. Right. One of the things we didn't mention, though, I remember when we were talking about activities, is meals. I just remembered that. That's also a major thing at retreats. Let's talk about it in the next event, though. We'll talk about how great the meals are there.
Yeah, and the next event we're gonna add another aspect in that it can be interactive. Maybe we're gonna put a Zoom or something also, right? So people can maybe ask.
Perhaps we'll see.
Yeah.
Let's see how it goes.
That.
That's it, guys. So look very much forward to seeing you there. It's been great being with you. Thank you, Asaf and Ruth.
You guys make it happen.
Thank you, Ruth. Thank you, Marcus. Thank you.
You guys.
You guys. Great questions. Yeah. Great questions.
You guys
really
make
fun.
the magic happen.
Really fun. So when's the next one? We don't know yet?
Don't know yet.
We don't know yet.
Keep
so
an eye out.
How do I
keep an eye out on the YouTube channel. Keep an eye out on your emails if you subscribe to KabU. If you're not, then go join KabU. You just go to kabbalah.info and click the banner there. That's it. And then we look forward to seeing you next time.
All right, guys. Until then, all the best. And, remember that point in the heart, that desire for spirituality is, what you were created for. So go for it. Develop
Make it real.
Make it real. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys. Thanks so much.
I don't believe in myself, but I believe in you. I'm falling into myself, but I want to draw to you. 'Cause when we can stand together above a frozen heart, I believe the light will come and we won't stay apart. Seems like I lost my wings, but you made me fly. And if I stop breathing, with you I'll stay alive. When we can stand together above a frozen heart, I'm sure the light will come and make things right. We are the parts of the one-man body. We are the soldiers of the light. We're gonna break these walls together and let the love free our minds. We're gonna burn like fire, fire in the one desire. Love is stronger than the dark side of life. Higher, higher. satellite. Light and love, love and light, light. In the end, there's nothing else besides the light. Light and love, love and light, light. In the end, there's nothing else besides the light. No matter what will come in our winding path, you are not alone, I'll always watch your back. So let's just stand together, I'll hold you in my arms, and suddenly the light will come and heal the heart. We are the part of the one-man army, we are the soldiers of the light. We're gonna break these walls around us and let the hope fulfill our lives. We are the part of the one-man army, we use the guns, we go to tears. We're gonna break